Ooh. Ah, yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just enjoying how much not 7 sins this game is. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead and give a hint of what I think of Tokobot Plus Mysteries of the Karakuri. This game is fucking great. I deliberately wanted to play a game I knew was good to get rid of the taste of 7 sins out of my mouth. And what better place to get a good game fix than Japan? A long-established Japanese developer at that. Good old Tecmo. They've been around since 1967 and have produced a butt-ton of titles, and even more when they merged with Koei. Originally released in 2005 on the PSP simply called Tokobot, it's a year later we were given the enhanced PS2 version. This version includes additional secret areas and an overhaul to the overdrive system, which I'll explain later. We open with a very pleasing and uplifting anime sequence. These are great. These types of intros always remind me of classic series like Dogtanian, Oxtails and Wowzer. Yep, I'm old. Here we meet our protagonist Bolt, the Tokobots, and the crew at Kanewood Laboratory. But first, some backstory.
Long before even the ancient civilization existed, in a time known by archaeologists as prehistoric, Moritari was home.
Okay, let's truncate this. Long ago in the land of Moritari, there was an ancient civilization who had great technological prowess. One night, volcano-y shit happened and wiped it all out. Millennium later, a new civilization thrives, and all that remains of the ancients are ruins. Ruins ripe for exploration by those who seek to become treasure masters. And that is where Bolt and crew come in.
Hi there, Bolt.
This is Mr. Kanewood. He announces that it's time for Bolt to take the preliminary treasure hunter test. Go to some ancient ruins, fight some enemies, and find an artifact. No pressure.
Mr. Kanewood, about the Treasure Master test.
We meet other members. Fuel, a level-headed advisor. Viola, you come to her to purchase items and upgrade your gear. And of course, Ruby, Bolt's childhood friend who will guide him throughout. Tokobot Plus is an action platformer puzzler exploration affair, where Bolt gets around, fights enemies and negotiates obstacles with the use of the Tokobots. These little guys work together in formations. Find a ledge with these magnets and they can form a bridge or a ladder.
Yeah.
Or use it to take down enemies with the V formation.
Yeah.
Spin like a top and take down a group of enemies with the U formation. And stomp enemies and buttons with the circle formation. A nice simple jaunt to grab some treasure. Well, no, of course there are bad guys.
The treasure masters appear to have arrived, just as the boss reported.
Observing Bolt's journey are Flames and Bart, under the command of the one they only call the boss. They're after the same thing, but why should two highly trained military and robotic experts do it when they could just let a teenage boy and his robot pals do it for them? I'm getting a Pokemon vibe here. I love the mechanical, steampunky aesthetic. You see something cool and think, ooh, what does that do? The environments themselves are puzzles, figuring out how to get from point A to point B, and sometimes this requires more than just the Tokobot's 3 formations. Bolt will come across super chips. These allow the Tokobots to become certain machines when standing on their respective tiles. The Crane-O-Matic, a crane for moving blocks and boxes. Launch-O-Bomb, a bomb-throwing catapult. Mechano-Wheel, for operating just one thing as far as I can remember. And the Mono-Choo-Choo. Ooh, this is familiar. Like the vine riding parts in Scalar, this is a memory game, but less frustrating.
The one who controls Karakuri.
A Occasionally, Bolt will stumble upon an overdrive chip. These abilities will give the Tokobots a one-hit superpower from a few overdrives found along the way. But to obtain them, he needs to fight them first, whilst being overlooked by Arya.
It seems you are qualified to control Samurai Hover.
I don't know who she is. The game doesn't explain who she is or what her motivations are. But take a shot every time she says a variation of qualification.
Qualifications, qualified, qualified, qualifications, qualified to control.
As the story progresses, more about the prehistorics comes to light. We already know that the Tokobots themselves are prehistoric technology, but things start to go deeper. Them ancient types built something quite powerful. Something the boss is actually after. Well shit, we better find out what it is and get to it first. The Tokobots better up their game, and they do this by adding more abilities to their 3 basic formations. These additional super chips will add Toko Swing, Toko Glider, and Toko Jump, because everything is Toko. Basically new ways to get to places Bolt couldn't reach before. And boy, this sometimes needs precision timing. Bolt, look out! These types of magnets can be swung upon, but you better get it millisecond perfect, otherwise you'll... Ah, you suck.
Who are you?
Nobody. I praise this game, but it's far from perfect. You may have noticed some slowdown here and there. This usually occurs in large areas or where there's several enemies around. I tested this by having the Tokobots fall off a ledge, so just to have Bolt, and the frame rate certainly improved. The environments and enemies are pretty simple, but this just may be a symptom from porting it from the PSP. The camera is a clumsy bastard. It's another occurrence of it existing in the world, so it keeps bumping into scenery, which makes already difficult jumps even harder. What isn't hard are the boss fights. They're pattern-based and they make it pretty obvious what to do. Hey, you see this big obvious hit me orb? Yeah, hit that. Oh no, what a thing to happen. This of course means facing Flames and Bart a few times.
I request a duel.
I swear these two are the Jesse and James of Tokobot Plus. They have access to all these cool gadgets and vehicles, but still fail to subdue a child.
What kind of kids are they?
Alright then, what is it? What is this ancient technology we need to get to? The cataclysm that wiped out the ancient civilization was actually caused by it. Bolt finds more information. It's referred to as the power that controls the world. Oh good, nothing major then. I will keep the nature of this power and the plot-twisty identity of the boss clandestine. But I will say if this power is unleashed, the whole planet is fucked. Well, you know what I think, but I'm going to say it anyway. Despite a couple of technical issues, this game is freaking rad. It has a great mechanic with the Tokobots, which leads to great platforming and a variety of puzzles. In the current climate of remakes and remasters, I nominate this. A few improvements do need to be made. I never played the PSP version, but I read the Plus version includes an overhaul to the overdrives. I don't see why, I hardly ever use them. They can be upgraded, but I never did because it was so bloody expensive, and I managed to finish the game fine. But that doesn't matter. A game with elements of Metal Gear Solid, Eco and Pokemon is okay in my book.